Quais foram os desafios, Roberta? No que mudou e quais são os desafios? Berenice has always been empowered. Berenice was always like this in the film. And 20 years later, she went through several issues. She had been in prison due to a betrayal from a bandit. She has a daughter. She now has a great partner, but at the same time, she's very independent and very revolutionary. She's very concerned about the community. She's not in favor of crime. She thinks that City of God can be a different place. And together with her friend Cynthia, who is part of the Association of Local Residents in Barbantinho, she observes, and we can see then the politics entering community. And this is the only way to see effective changes. So Berenice, at each episode, she becomes more and more potent. You will see that until the last episode, you will understand the trajectory of this woman who changes the perspective, the, and understanding her true path and how she can do in order to really transform that reality. I feel privileged of being part of this 20 years later, and every scene that you will watch from Berenice, you can be sure that she was alive. In my first rehearsal, I found the same preparation person. When we met, we cried out of emotion. She said, Berenice is alive. Yes, she was kept alive within me, not in me only, but in all Black women in Brazil who somehow feel represented by her. And this is a privilege, being able to tell the story of in which we broaden the look of society towards hope, a place of transformation. Little Rocket, we will see him rea- realizing his dream, which is photography, and very well succeeded professionally. And I believe that you will see him with more maturity. 20 years will have passed by. The big challenge was to accept the invitation, understand that we would get back to do a series and to talk about this story, about this film that was so transcendental, I can say, changed my story, my career, and also Brazilian cinema, and also people abroad. Also, it also changed how they see our art, our cinema. So right after having had all these emotions, that we would get back to talk about City of God, reading the screenplay with the preparation from Fatima, I understood that there are many more stories to tell. There is much more water to go under the bridge. And I am really very happy with what we could realize. The film and the series are being taken, narrated by Little Rocket, by his narration, his point of view. This is how the story is being told. As a character, with this look of a photographer talking about his story, at this point, his big conflict is exactly with this dream, which in a certain way got a little lost. And we will talk about this, his conflict between what he is living, which is his dream, how he deals with his daughter, for example, how to deal with her, who has a different point of view from his. It is to say that we need to have hope, independently of where in the world. Understand that politics is for everyone, that we need to have political awareness about the place we live. And nowadays, we have another factor which is very important, the internet. You can know what's going on everywhere, and with this connected world, so that we can look to our side through this series, we can have anywhere. You can understand that there are people, there is a community that needs to be seen, deserves more attention, that we need public policies working in these places. We need health education, we need sports, mental health, which is basic and it is very little mentioned. And it is totally necessary. It is about this. Think and have hope about better days. For me, hope is a reference. In my childhood, I did not have many references of people from the same ethnicity, color, skin color. So the reference from which we represent today, me and Roberta and other people from the cast, the message is that those who come from communities, places which are really deprived from public attention, that the people have in mind that we have potency, we can dream, and moreover, we can really realize our dreams and live out of them. Brazil changed a lot, evidently, during this period. I would say, to summarize, City of God, the population of the communities were seen as victims. In the first movie, we showed the deprivation and the lack of resources. In the meantime, Black movements and leaderships came about in these communities. So, to use a phrase that we use in Brazil, we are no longer focusing the needs, but the potency. The organized population can achieve, can face any threat. The big threat in the movie was the drug trafficking. What we will see now is the change to the militias who really expelled the drug dealers, but they are taking over, expelled policemen from the corporation who now control these areas. And they are connected to public servants and the government. So, and the series shows the population reacting, taking their lives in into their power. Ali watched the movie, of course, it was a continuation. There was an expectation of it being a continuation, so he uses some similar elements, camera, handheld camera, less controlled interpretation, but the project is completely Ali's. He used that as a reference and used it in his series. So the public will see the references from how I told the story, but there is Aly Muritiba's seasoning, who revised. So he revised the whole screen and play.